course, for that really early Nexus, and now going for that easily taken mineral only that I was talking about at the beginning of the game. So I have to say, Light is just doing what he can. He's just killing observers. He's trying to make his mines effective. But I feel that he's falling behind slowly. And if he doesn't do something really good against Violet, maybe a good vulture drop or maybe a good tank drop on Violet's main base, I think that Light is going to be in a pretty tough position.
Man, I'm really in love with what Light's doing in this game. He kind of reminds me of a Zerg on the back foot, despite the fact that he's a Terran, and like there couldn't be two races more different than Terran and Zerg. He realizes that he's down and he's on the back foot. So this is just like getting Lurkers, Speed Overlords, and Scourge and Observer Sniping. He's doing the same Observer Sniping as Terran. This is beautiful and elegant, and I've absolutely never seen this before, and I'm really happy to be seeing it. But unfortunately, mines are a little bit easier to pick off than Lurkers, so Violet, although he hasn't been able to attack Light and really press his advantage, is still not doing a poor job with map control. He's still got tons of map control and is still up on bases, and Light is still on the back foot, but he's had a lot of time to breathe and he's been completely unharassed all this time, and although he's still got that initial disadvantage to catch up from and he's still down a base because Violet has taken that top left, he's still in decent position, and it's such a cool way that he came back, and unfortunately for me, it doesn't look like there's going to be Ghosts or VCs at this point, but still some innovative, unusual play that we don't usually see. And he's also really ahead on the upgrades because we saw the armory spinning, and he's already got that science vessel for extra tech, and so he's pretty much prepared now for whatever his opponent can throw at him because he's already got science vessel tech to deal with the possibility of arbiters. He's already got Goliath. He's already got everything.
Yeah, definitely, and it looks like both armies are ready for a fight here. Now it's going to be very interesting that we've had two science vessels produced by Light, so that is the equivalent of 4 tanks when you think about the gas cost. That's a lot of tanks differentiating here. So he's going to need to use those vessels intelligently. He needs to get a couple EMPs off, I would think, to take down the shields to make up for the fact that he doesn't have the big splash damage of his tanks. He's going to need to do damage to the shields with EMP, and looks like a nice flank coming in here from the south as well. Zealot's speed upgrade has just finished screaming right in here. Going to get into the tank lines. It looks like some vultures have been well placed, but there's so many zealots. It's too many zealots for the vultures. Not a big enough minefield, and the zealots are getting in there. There's a D-Matrix on one of the tanks, but it's not going to be enough, and this entire push is going to get cleaned up. Light is going to fall epically behind in this game right now. The D-Matrix tank has just fallen. This entire push has gone down. No arbiters were needed here at all. Able to just break this push with zealots and dragoons only. No zealot bombs, no nothing, and taking another base at the 6 o'clock position. Wow, Violet has absolutely just wiped the floor with Light with that victory. He has not lost at any stage in this game. All legitimately that Violet has lost throughout this game is a few observers that for the most part did their job. I mean, those observers were seeing the factories, they saw the tech that was coming out, they made a lot of important notes, so he was in good shape here. And here comes some vultures to the top left, going to try and do some harassment. No luck here at all. Violet is on his game and able to take care of this, and we've got a pylon with a Stargate coming up here in a little bit of a hidden position here, so this is not going to be for Arbiter tech, I don't think, because the Temple Archives has been up for a while. I think this might actually be for carriers here. We got 2 Stargates. Yeah, this is definitely going to be for carriers now. We got 2 Stargates coming up here, and you know, we saw Free go for arbiters on this map, go for mass hallucinations when his Terran opponent was on the back foot and wouldn't GG. Now we're going to see some massive numbers of carriers, and this could be very, very interesting. We'll see how Light decides to respond. Looks like he's going to try and take the bottom right-hand base with building a command center at his mineral only, but I think Violet can just do what Free did and say, no, you will never get that bottom right base up and running, and you are going to starve to death. There's just nothing you can do about it, and I don't know what Light can do to counter it. It's going to be very, very difficult. He's going to need to use vultures and tanks and drops around the map very, very effectively to try and do some economic harassment, get his way back into this, because he's falling so far behind, and once carriers show up, he does not have the economy to support the army that he would need.
Definitely, his army composition is just really small here, and he cannot afford to lose those vultures on that minefield or the few tanks that he has. So Light is in a really tough position here because I don't think he has spotted the stargates coming up yet, and he's probably just spending his money on science vessels. Well, not necessarily science vessels. And oh my God, there's a fleet beacon and 2 extra stargates. So indeed, we're gonna see mass carriers. But yeah, Light's probably just spending all of his gas on tanks right now. Gonna try and rebuild that army so he can fight Violet's main army. But I don't think he's expecting this at all. And if Light, oh my God, Light has to not only does he have to rebuild his army so he can, oh wow, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to push that thought away for a second. Violet is taking the bottom right as well, so Violet taking every single base on the map except for that 12 o'clock. So Light is in a really tough position here. If he does not spot those carriers, they could just deal supreme damage on Light. I'm gonna see Light gonna try and harass Violet with that dropship. Oh man, I really want to see if Light's gonna spot this or not, because from Light's point of view, he's just trying to harass Violet. Maybe get some nice probe kills. Not entirely sure. There's a drop for Light, but oh no, really poor drop by Light, losing foolishly a tank there. And the second tank that actually got dropped is just targeting targeting the probes. It looks like Light actually spots this. Light is going to spot the stargates, but I think this is a bit too late already, because there are 4 carriers coming out right now, and Light's going to have to stop his tank production and start with Goliaths. And I have not seen that many Goliaths out in the field for Light yet. When we'll see two science vessels, those tanks, and so many vultures, but no Goliaths. Only 2 Goliaths in that whole force. So as soon as nice CMP on top of that army, but still, though the carriers are out already. So oh man. Light, if he does not make Goliaths right now, if he loses this army right here, this could be game, but it looks like, oh, excellent storms on top of Light's army. Oh my God, Light has lost all of his vultures, man. Vultures and tanks, but there are tanks on the lower ridge doing some awesome damage on the army of Violet. Violet could definitely push forward, I think, but he's decided not to do so. Maybe he's waiting for the carrier support. But wow, Light right now, I really don't see how Light is going to be able to fully and effectively deal with those carriers.
Those are some good storms, I have to say. But Light is mined out in his main now, and is just on his natural and mineral only. When I saw the dropship go right over the four stargates, I was praying that there was going to be 2 tanks inside that dropship, and maybe, just maybe, he could have taken out the pylon powering all 4 of those stargates and delayed for just a little bit longer. But that is not the case. 4 carriers are inbound. It looks like he's only got +1 upgrade on weapons, and meanwhile Violet has +2 ground, and oh no, 2-1 is up now. So that puts Light in a little better position. He's actually sieging the 6 o'clock. Meanwhile, though, carriers coming into the production at the top right, factories are going to start going down, and that just completely eliminates Violet's ability, or that eliminates the Light's ability to reproduce his army once it goes down. So Violet in just dominant position right here. He doesn't really care that he's losing that 6 o'clock because he's got every other open base on the map. He's taking the 12 o'clock. He, in what was kind of like a humiliation thing, he took the bottom right, which is the natural third gas of Light, and Light is floating in command center over to the bottom right. It looks like he's just realizing it now. An attack going on in the middle, kind of near the 6 o'clock.